wrong? C. Anybody disagree with C? It has to be right. Mr. Mizell? Looks good to me. All right, C. They submit the answer. Bingo. And you know, they laugh at first, and then they start pumping their fists later in the year when you get the superb and excellent. I should try to get it right, which means I'll probably get it wrong. Measurement of a obtuse angle. D. D. Oh, that was a cute little angle. Okay, now they would have gotten 10 questions, but as soon as they miss one, you're now going to take the lesson. But if you would have passed it, boom. And there would have been a warm-up. Are we skipping the warm-up? There would have been a warm-up here, just a couple stuff that would apply to this and help you do this. And then here I'm going to set up. You can see it's one of 8 videos. 45 seconds.
Did you know that geometry plays a very important role in my line of work? Accuracy is very important in board design. If the angles I cut are not precise, the ability to control the skateboard is poor, and then I'm out of business. I use a protractor to measure the correct angles on pieces of wood, which I then cut with a power saw. A protractor is an instrument used to find the degree measure of an angle. It is numbered from 0 to 180 degrees. I always take careful measurements before I cut, and when I'm using the saw, I'm always sure to use protective goggles. I'm about to make some measurements for a custom board right now, so pay close attention to classifying and measuring angles while I get started.
I'll pause right here a second. And the kids have to play through this. It tells them how long they are. They groan. They do. They do. This isn't like their favorite. But, you know, that's what they see. You know, can I do that in front of the classroom? Not me. But I'm sure there are some teachers in a traditional class that may be able to be like that. But that's pretty phenomenal, if you ask me. But not all of them are like that. Some of them are just a teacher lecturing or showing them how to do problems. I'm not going to lie with you there. Okay, let's not do the 8. Can we just skip through these? By the way, while she's skipping through there, I don't allow the students to skip through the presentations the first time through. They can't. There's a switch in the software that will they have to go through the presentations. And then the second time through, they can pick and choose what they need to know, what they need to learn. And they do, because they want to be done with it.
What is the measurement? A protractor is
And then after this, it would kick them to independent practice, which would be some practice problems. But we're skipping that, and we're going to the tutorial, which will be right before the quiz, which is the nuts and bolts. So I'm leaving a lot out. There were 7 videos you just didn't see for this. All right, I'm going to go with 28C and get this wrong. God, I had to say that ahead of time. Look at me. What will happen is, when you get it wrong, this is a tutor. This is there to help them, not say you're incorrect. Rework the problem. And so this tutor is actually helping them there. Pick another one, submit the answer.
Sorry, that is incorrect. We must determine which measure
And see what the tutor's doing if you're wrong? It's already, you've missed it twice, and it's giving you two different ways to look at it now.
at less than 180 degrees.
Can you go to the next question?
One measure that is greater than 90 degrees.
Or will it not let us? Okay, it will. I do not let them fast forward anything on the first time through.
Pairs of angles are complementary.
Kathy, we want this one right. We don't want to go through that again. A. She says A. Nice job, Kath. And usually there's 3 or 4, depending on the unit, there's different. Kath, come on, help us again.
Measures 52 degrees. What is the measure of its complementary angle?
Kathy. B. She thinks I'm kidding. I can't see that. Even with the glasses, don't let it fool you. Okay. What'll happen here is they're done with the tutor, and the nuts and bolts of the class is, in my opinion, is the actual, go ahead and do it. They're going to go to the quiz. The quiz, they don't get to stop. The quiz is going to ask them 10 questions. They answer them all. And at the end, it scores them their percentage. And if a kid doesn't answer it, when I go on the review sheet, it just has the empty set thing, and I know they didn't even answer the question. So whether they got it right or wrong or didn't even attempt it. Let's get one right. Identify all the possible names of the angles shown in the diagram. Yeah, go that one. Let's do, did you shorten this to 3 questions? You're the, yeah, Vanna. Yes, let's do this. We need to miss one though. Kathy, give me the wrong answer here. C. Okay, and let's not answer this one. So let's just finish the quiz. You have not answered all. It'll tell you that, but they might just not go. A lot of times what will happen, just so you'll know, is the class will end. They'll be on a quiz, and they won't have a choice. Class is ended. So I just tell that, go ahead and log out. When you come back, you'll do the quiz again, and we give the highest quiz score. So even if they failed that one that they didn't finish, they come back the next day. It puts them right back on the quiz. They take it again, and the quiz changes questions. You never take the same quiz twice. It's different questions. And then they pass it, say they got 1 out of 3 here, and then they get 3 out of 3 the next time. They're going to get the 100%, which is really cool. Go ahead and finish. Let's go and see if it kicks us to the quiz solutions. The teacher version is nicer because it gives me one screen where I can pick the ones they missed. The students have to go page through one at a time. So the green check lets them know they got it correct. They did not, the red X obviously. By the way, they didn't. You hit solutions. We're going to go in here. I know there's not a lot here because it's definition, but if it was a complicated algebra problem, it would show the steps. This is a definition, not probably a real good one to show the solutions to. And then I don't know what it'll show for the last one, an empty set or something on there, as I know what it shows on the teacher. Was not answered. So at this point, go ahead and the students, I have it set up that they will do a tutorial. They'll go back through the tutorial, but what also happens, can we get the alert? Would that come up now? Or no, that's on the teacher. This screen is also, this is an incredible screen I didn't talk about ever before. I didn't really use it much last time. Each time a student failed a quiz one time, a section test, a student's tardy, this student would have showed up on that. And I have math tutors in my class, and I have that on the upper left-hand corner. And that, tutors sometimes, hey, they want to work. So it's their job to keep this alert screen clear. So they have to come by my desk, they look, and they say, okay, whoever that first person is, expert, they go to that desk, they put a check in there, and they log it off. All right, I handled it. It's kind of like at work. You just, you take the next person in line. And their job is to keep that empty. And at first it was a chore, but now they stand up there and they say, will someone miss something? And they want to help, want to do it. So very nice. I'm going to end with that. That's just so you have an idea. Is there any questions? Anybody have anything they want to say just about how a lesson goes? Okay, and then Brent, by the way, I told you what we're doing at Calabasas, or at Agora High School, and now we're doing it at Calabasas, and Brent's involved with that. So Brent, you're on. You probably need the microphone.
Oh, I'm good. Do we need it for the video?
Yeah, for the video.
I'll keep it as far away from my mouth as possible because I've never been known to not be loud. I'm Brent Cast. I am a special ed teacher over at Calabasas High School. I kind of piggyback onto Russell because they started this last year, and this is a new program for our school. We have 2 co-taught classes, one general ed teacher and one special ed teacher, and then a 3rd class that is actually taught by the teacher that I co-teach with. So I believe there's 3 periods going in, and again, this is the first year we've used this. Russell did cover a lot of information. Just to give you a little background about myself, I had never been to a conference before. I've been at Calabasas for 6 years. I've been in the district for, I think, 11. I was a special ed aide and then became a special ed teacher. So when I got this opportunity, I jumped at it. The principal asked, hey, who wants to go? And I said, oh, okay. It was a little bit of a, it was difficult only because I have 2 young kids, so it was a little bit of a sacrifice, but again, it was, I thought it would be worthwhile, especially with the, how do you include that whole rigor and the relevance, the relationship portion of it, and so I thought that was very interesting as well. We met a lot of unique individuals. Some of us, one of the other teachers and I actually ran a 5K at like 4:30 in the morning, and it was still 105, and I'd never sweat so much in my life. So that was at least good to know that, and I got a free t-shirt out of it, so it had the whole framework, the rigor, relevance, the quadrant T. So one of the things Russell had talked about, can we go back to if you miss it and it gives you the solution? And partly what we are doing in our classes is if students miss it, they have a spiral bound notebook that they keep in class or we utilize for homework and whatnot. So if they missed, if they missed 5 out of the 10 questions or whatnot, we go back and we have them write down the solution. Because again, it changes, but they can utilize that solution to help them with the homework. It just gives them an example that may not be available in a book. And so we have them go ahead and write that down. We actually downloaded the homework, I guess the workbook, onto our web pages, and students can go in, cut and paste what they need, and then turn those in as well. And part of the lesson as well is it says, there you go. So if they got to do the solution, then they have to write that down. And that's a way we also grade them, because the grading here, it is what it is. We can assign different grade percentages. I know that the teacher that I'm working with, we did a midterm that was a paper midterm, so we had a little something a little more real for them. And we were able to insert that as 10, 15, 20% into the program, the I Can Learn program. I was actually, Mrs. Foss had mentioned this to us that, hey, we might be doing this new computer program next year, so let me know what you think. I knew the name was I Can Learn. It ended up that when we went to this conference, sure enough, there was a vendor presentation of I Can Learn. So that was helpful. So we did go into it knowing a little bit about what was going on, but we certainly, without Russell and Juliana, we wouldn't have been able to know what we were doing at all. So that was certainly helpful, but it does seem to be working well. I do have some students in that class that are technically, they're gen ed kids in the math class, but they do have IEPs, but their disability is related to language arts or language, not necessarily math, but a lot of them still request help. Like Russell was saying, the age, we have 2 peer tutors that are in AP classes, and we do that same thing. We make it a competition, which one of you is going to get this kid and help them out. We do have some students, we're kind of adjusting it now because it is, but it's the first 10 weeks we've ever used it. And how does that apply? We took Russell's, I guess the layout that they had at Agora, because why reinvent the wheel if it works? But now we're just kind of tweaking it to fit the population that we have in our classes. So, thus far I guess the judgment's still out on the data. Like these 2 ladies were saying earlier, but it seems to be a great tool. I know I've spoken to some kids and they really like it because they aren't, how can I put it? They don't feel focused upon by the class because it is self-paced. And so if they don't get it, nobody else knows what they're on. It's kind of a good self-esteem booster for them. If they have difficulty, they can have assistance either from the teachers, like Russell was saying, some one-on-one teaching, which also builds that relationship, which is, part of those 3. And I guess that's about it. I mean, do we have any questions related to the software that we can maybe answer?